Welcome back, rankers. You having a good week? I am. We're going to do a site review this week, and this is for an old mate. And when I say an old mate, I mean a really old mate. She's been a mate a long time, about nearly 20 years, I think. And we met through the internet back then, yes, when it was run on kerosene. Her name is Yvonne Adele. A lot of you will know and love her as Mega. Anyway, this is her site. She's going to go with a new site, a new blog, and she just asked me to have a quick look at it. Any recommendations? Well, as it turns out, I've got a bundle. If we go to the site, we can see here that, whoa, she's huge. And this is great. I really love the look of this. I don't think this part is new. I could be wrong. There she is again. She moves around a bit. This is the new blog, I believe. Now, this is the new area of the site, the new part of the blog. Now, it's important, if you're going live with a new section of your site or a new site altogether, that if you're going to get rid of any old stuff, you need to redirect it to its new equivalent, and you need to permanently redirect it. One of the things you'll notice here is Yvonne's old school. She's gone without the wwws. Let me just bring that up and show you that she's done that right. So we've done a bit of a look up of the headers here, and we can see that if we type in www.yvonneadele, it has been moved permanently to yvonneadele.com, which is great. However, there's a few things that I'm noticing right up that are a bit weird. The first thing is if I just go back to the site : search. So that's site : not the other one. And I have a look at this cache here. So this is the home page, right? I have a look at that, and the Google cache is showing me this. Now, Yvonne, you might know why it's showing you this, but it usually means that maybe yvonneadele.com at some point was actually redirected to a listing of you or about you on about.me, possibly. Well, Google still got that in its cache. Now, the weird thing is when I have a look at the source of this, because I couldn't see the date, it says that Google cached this on the 3rd of May, 2014. So if your site didn't look like that on the 3rd of May, then something weird's going on. If it did look like that and you've only just gone live, then that's fine. It'll update that fairly quickly. Doesn't seem to be happening to other pages. When I go and have a look at Google Webmaster Tools, and once again, I think this is because it's a new site, we go and have a look in the... Google's having a problem here. We go and have a look at crawl errors. Crawl errors throws an error. Good on you, Google. If I go and have a look at crawl stats, no data available yet, possibly, once again, because we don't have any information. A few things that you can do right up, though, in Google Webmaster Tools, and this goes for any new site. Drop in a sitemap. Okay, we don't have a sitemap there, so you need to add a sitemap. Now, because you're using WordPress, there's plenty of plugins that'll do that for you in WordPress. Just drop that in, and it'll update dynamically. So every time you add a blog post, it'll ping Google and say, hey, Google, come and have a look at the site. And there's something new here. We're not going to have a look at, so there's nothing really in here I can have a look at. So over the next few days, you should see this populate. Google Index is saying 0, which is obviously wrong because we've just on the site yvonneadele.com, and we can see that there's 21 results there. When I run over the site with a Mac truck node, with a crawler, and I get all the URLs out, I can see there's a few here that have been moved permanently, a few links in here that have been moved permanently. Now, when I talk about redirecting everything, we shouldn't have any of those old links within the site, which is what has happened here. So this one is for your event, MC-MC, and if I open this in a browser, we'll be able to see that it's redirected. So we've dropped out that MC for your event. But those links are still appearing within the live site. So what you want to do is get rid of any old links. I mean, it's good it's not throwing an error or a 404 or anything like that, but you want to get rid of these old links. And this could just, once again, be a function of the thing's not fully live yet. The other reason I think it's not fully live yet is you'll see here under the blog section, we've only got new blog. And if I open that in the browser, and then we just do a site just to see if Google's got that URL. It hasn't got that URL yet. So typically if you've got a new section of your site, you don't want Google indexing it until you've done all your work. You want to have it nice and clean and make all those changes before it goes live. So if we go back here and have a look at some of the pages that are there, these blue lines typically are your page title. These blue text links here are typically your page titles. You don't need things like, oh, well, this is a default of WordPress and indexed on the March 12, 2014. Want to get rid of that out of the index if it's not unpublished already. Hopefully it's already unpublished. Yeah, it's 404 not found. So Google will come back and look for that and it'll be gone, right? That's just default. Things like this, we really don't want Google crawling categories though. And we don't want it crawling tags either. So speak to your web developer about keeping Google out of those areas because it can crawl the same piece of content twice if it's going through, looking at tags and crawling things under tags and those sorts of things, which you really don't want. Looks like we've got this is the result of, let me just see if this is live. This should redirect, hopefully, to a search engine friendly. Yeah, okay, so it's redirected to a search engine friendly. And that may have been one of the ones that we were seeing. Let me just have a look here. No, so these are all new things I don't think Google's picked up yet, but the reason I always, when you do one of these site colon searches and you see links like this, especially on a WordPress site, sometimes it can mean that the page is live at 2 URLs. That's not the case here. When I go and have a look at, say, the actual blog post itself, and we'll switch across to Firefox, and we're using SEO for Firefox, an excellent tool produced by Aaron Wall, who is another old SEO bloke. When we have a look at this, we can see here that, great, we've got the page title, Tips for the Budding MC. Tips for the Budding MC is a H1, but then all of a sudden we've got a H4, a bunch of H4s over here. Now this is at the skin or the theme level, and these don't need to be H4s. And the reason that you want to get rid of them, keep the same formatting, and you can just do that with a span or a div. But the reason that you want to get rid of them is because it's basically diluting the power of a heading tag, because you'll find that these are higher in the code. Maybe not. Maybe they're not higher in the code. But none of these need to be headings. They're not headings. It's not a good document structure, if you like. And then you'll see down here the subheadings we've got, the H3. So we've gone from a H1 to a H3. I would go H1, H2. If you need to use a H3 as a subheading to a H2, then do that. Rare that you're going to have to use a H4 unless you're doing some sort of technical document, I would think. One of the questions that Yvonne asked me too, what should I be ranking for? Should it be MC? Should it be MC? Should it be Master of Ceremonies? Well, this is a difficult one. And when you're doing your keyword research, because you don't have a lot of data yet, so you don't know what people are searching for in, say, Google Webmaster Tools, we haven't got those search queries there yet, you would head off to Google Trends. Now, I've got a few searches in here, and I've got MC, I've got Master of Ceremonies, I've got Corporate MC. If I put just the MC in here, it just brings up a whole lot of noise. So you have to make some calculated decisions. So, for instance, this one is bringing up people that are searching for all sorts of things like, just bring that up, McDonald's, MC News, I've got no idea, Rebel, I don't know, Motorcycle Club, right? So there's a lot of noise trying to rank for this. Corporate MC, well, there's not a lot of volume for it. And you can see this blue line here. This blue line is this one here, MC. So you would say, okay, well, I'm looking at results from Australia here. So you would say, okay, well, that looks like it's kind of going up. Is it the right audience for you? Well, you can see here that I'm guessing this is some sort of rapper or something. Anyway, I don't know. Plenty of wedding MC searches related to that as well. I think you're going to have to rank for all of them. I think you're going to have to talk about all of them. And if you need to, write a page about the different things that people are looking for in an MC and, or a master of ceremonies. One of the things that you can do, you can sort of leverage off other people's research. And you can see here I've done corporate MC. So we've got a couple of agencies that are advertising there. There's only 2 though. When I type in MC, I'm not getting any ads, which would indicate to me that, if the big agencies or speakers bureaus or any of those sorts of places are not advertising for that key phrase, chances are they've already done their homework and they know it's not a big one for them. But if we go Master of Ceremonies, you can see here we've got Master of Ceremonies Melbourne, we've got Wedding, Master of Ceremonies Jakes. There's people probably preparing to be an MC at someone's wedding. Same here. So a lot of this here is related to weddings. But ones that have got, description, geographical descriptors, they're probably people looking for someone that they want to employ, which of course is Yvonne. Fantastic MC. So when I go and do that search, I can see here I've got a lot more ads. So a lot of people have done the research for you, okay? Because you're not going to be, well, some people might be advertising there. You've got Elliot Goblet there. You've got all sorts of ads there. And if I go Master of Ceremonies Melbourne, you can see there, once again, we've got Disability Services, Melbourne City Mission. Why are they advertising there? Okay, that's a dumb ad. It's a waste, I think. Celebrants, yeah, this is a bad ad. Good ad, good ad, good ad, good ad. So it's the same advertisers. So you can see they're grouped and they're coming up on a regular basis. So apparently I do this a lot. So I would be optimizing for all of those things, but I think I'd be leaning towards Master of Ceremonies. But you don't have to go and write every post to say Master of Ceremonies. You can say Master of Ceremonies once and do an MC thing. But the key thing, once you get all the structure right, you get those little links fixed, you redirect the stuff that's old that you're not going to use anymore to its new URL and those sorts of things. You've just got to do what Yvonne does well, basically, and that is publish content. And if you publish content on a regular basis and you're following all these sorts of rules, you've got a good structure in here. I don't know whether I have, it's telling me I should be recording. I am recording. It tells you that this is uncategorized here, right? We probably don't want that. You probably want to have a couple of categories in there. You don't need a lot. I would also make sure that, I'm not too sure if you changed the homepage, but I'm a big fan of having latest posts widget on the front page of the site, because that way you get the Googlebot sees it straight away. Get that site map happening. Watch the things to watch for over the next week or so after everything's live and Google's crawled it, and make sure Google has crawled everything that you want it to. Stop looking at my calendar. Hey, there's a photo. We'll get to it in a second. There's my mail. Hopefully, I've gone full screen at the moment because I've just blocked out everything I didn't want you to see. What you will see once you've gone live, or the things to watch for once you've gone live, in Webmaster Tools, is pay close attention to your crawl errors and also your crawl stats. So we don't have any information here yet, but if I have a look at the wwws, which was set up earlier, it's got some information in here. So you want to make sure that you know, this one here is nice and fast. What should happen when Google finds all the new content, you'll see this graph go up and then drop back. And then also you want to have a look at, or keep an eye on, the Google index and make sure that you know, you're getting all your pages indexed in there. And don't forget to set up that sitemap. And hopefully that's helpful. And we'll see you next week. Thanks very much. Bye.